In the headlines, airport workers protest give FG 14-day ultimatum over aviation bills. Federal government inaugurates committee on railway security. 9 women rescued from sinking house as flood sweeps away father of 4 children in Lagos. Away from Nigeria, deadly clashes erupt between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Activities at the regional headquarters of aviation agencies in Lagos were paralyzed on Monday morning following a peaceful demonstration staged by unions in the industry to protest the move to proscribe trade union activities in the newly passed Civil Aviation Act. 5 aviation unions had last Thursday threatened to shut down the industry after discovering what they called obnoxious clauses in the new act assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. The unions have also vowed to protest at all airports nationwide and picket at the aviation agencies in Abuja and Lagos to demand for the removal of the clauses. They have also given the federal government and the National Assembly 14 days to expunge the clauses or face a total shutdown of the industry. The protesting unions include the National Union of Air Transport Employees, Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, the Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, and the Amalgamated Union of Public Cooperation Civil Service Technical and Recreational Services Employees.
We held a World Press Conference here in the airport in Lagos. And this was predicated upon what we heard and even saw that they were planning to do, as in to enact law that will outlaw trade union activism and activities in Nigerian airports. Right from 1977, when they introduced this Essential Services, Trade Disputes Essential Services Act into our life by decree, and which they later turned into act. You know the style, the type of regime we were operating then, the military regime. They are coercive in nature. And now, they are now deeming it necessary to import this and foist on us as aviation workers.
The aviation workers are being denied their rights and privileges to engage in unionism. From the act that was being submitted through the National Assembly to the presidency, we have, been inundated that the act has been smuggled into, some clauses, some obnoxious clauses, which we denied the unions in aviation industry to perform their rights as enshrined in the Trade Union Act.
The National Industrial Court of Nigeria has adjourned to September 16, 2022, the suit filed by the federal government against the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, over industrial action embarked upon by the union about 7 months ago. The federal government approached the court sitting in Abuja requesting an order for ASUU to resume work, while the issues in dispute are being addressed by the court. Baradia Umar reports that at Monday's proceedings, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SARAF, sought to join the suit as an interested party. The report.
Speaking to journalists outside the court, counsel to ASUU, Falana, berated the federal government for going to court. He said the federal government should stop trying to blackmail ASUU, adding that university lecturers have not stopped working.
They are yet to put their house in order. The government has not been able to make a case for the intervention of the court. Hence the basis of the adjournment. Please, we are filing papers. Allow us time. So we are waiting for those papers. Because this is not the first time government had adopted this rather dilatory tactic, which have a way of prolonging strikes. We were here last year when you had the resident doctor strike. It was the same approach. They said they won't be paid. At the end of the day, government had to pay them.
On his part, the counsel to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, said ASU cannot dictate to the federal government what platform its members are to be paid. He said the agreement reached between the federal government and ASU has been substantially implemented and that details of the agreement will form part of the papers they will be filing before the court.
I believe all of you here are employees of your various organizations. You can't dictate to your organization how you will be paid. Your organization can decide to give you a check, can decide to pay directly into your account. One of their major issues is the issue of payment through either IPPIS or UTAS. We are saying that cannot be dictated to government. We reserve the right to pay the way we believe is most appropriate in the circumstances. That is just one of the major things. There are so many things that cannot be disclosed.
It is important to note that before the hearing today, the Social, Economic and Right Accountability Project SERAP and 5 undergraduates sued the federal government on what they described as an unlawful refusal of the federal government to meet the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. As a matter of fact, they were in court today and they have filed their case, and they might be fighting with the Academic Staff Union of Universities on the next hearing, which is on the 16th of September 2022. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, a chief magistrate court sitting at Arkila area in Wamako local government area of Sokoto State on Monday refused to grant bail to Aliyu Umar, who hit Fatima Suleiman and resulted in her losing her leg. Umar was charged for reckless driving, driving without license and causing grievous hurt, which contravened sections 22 and 10 of the Road Traffic Law and 224 of the Sokoto Penal Code Law 2019. Chief Magistrate Maria Dogondaji, while ruling on the bail application filed by the Defense Counsel, Jacob Ochidi, said it was premature to grant the defendant bail at this stage. She, however, granted the oral application by the Attorney General of the state to take over the case from the police. While making the oral application, the Attorney General, Suleiman Usman, who was represented by Sufianu Meikuliki, argued that Section 211 of the Constitution and 106 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Sokoto State 2019 enables the Attorney General to take over the prosecution of any criminal cases initiated by any person or authority within the state. The Chief Magistrate, however, adjourned the case till September 19 for the commencement of hearing and ordered the defendant to be remanded in the Central Correctional Center, Sokoto.
What happened today is, in respect of the ruling for bail, application was moved on the last adjourned date, and today the ruling was delivered and the application was refused based on certain grounds relied by the court. In respect of the main case, it was adjourned to 19th day of September for commencement of hearing. So also the court make an order for the production of any document relied by the prosecution in proving the case, which is one of the fundamental right of the defendant for him to go through and see how he can defend himself. That one is in line with the constitutional provision.
And on political matters, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, human rights lawyer Femi Falana, and Labour leaders want Nigeria's government to unmask those behind the monumental oil stealing in the country. They made the demand on the sidelines of a two-day retreat organized by the Labour Party in Abuja, the nation's capital. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Speaking on the economics of the growing revenue leakages in the oil and gas sector, which is changing the citizens of enormous resources, Presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, says if properly utilized, such can address the lingering ASUU strike in just one day.
Oil on the average sold in July, you can use an average of 110. I've said it everywhere. Multiply with that number, you have $2,445 million.
Speaking on the same trajectory, a former human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, says it is inconceivable that the federal government lacks knowledge of how the oil resources is being illegally shipped out of the country.
And we're happy now, the Comptroller General of Customs has come up publicly to say that it is impossible to smuggle daily about 38 million liters of fuel. Where would they pass? Because you need tankers, and you will need at least 500 tankers loading 33,000 liters of fuel per one.
President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC Ayuba Waba, suggested the need to utilize illegal operators in the oil fields to instead contribute to the nation's refining capacity as means of addressing the challenge.
That Nigeria, despite being the sixth largest oil producer in the world, that we cannot refine petroleum products for more than 3 decades. What do? We export crude oil and half of it is being stolen. And in turn, we go back to buy refined products. And we don't complain that things are not working.
The 2-day retreat of the Labour Party is earmarked to reactivating its nationwide structures to mobilize support for those contesting various elective offices under its platform. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The former Chief Security Officer to late Sani Abacha, Hamza Al-Mustapha, on Monday visited Governor Nyesom Wike in his Port Harcourt residence. Hamza Al-Mustapha, the Action Alliance presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections, visited the governor as part of his consultation for the 2023 presidential election. Now, the federal government has inaugurated a committee to provide concrete measures to safeguard train passengers and railway infrastructure across the country. A statement by the Federal Ministry of Transportation said that the 11-man committee was inaugurated by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Magdalene Ajani, in Abuja. The committee is to review the use of surveillance equipment along rail lines and set up a special task force on railway lines across the country. It will also develop a comprehensive report on the train attacks along the Abuja-Kaduna route and make recommendations on how to prevent future occurrences of similar attacks. The management of Osun State University has suspended 6 students from the institution for involving in secret societies. The Vice-Chancellor, Osun State University, Professor Clement Adeboye, said this in Osogbo at a press conference ahead of the 11th convocation ceremony of the university. He said the 2,033 graduates who successfully completed their studies with 45 bagging first-class distinctions will be conferred with their first degree, while 5 postgraduate students will be awarded with Doctor of Philosophy. The Vice-Chancellor said Uni Osun has zero tolerance for cultism and social vices, including drug abuse, immoral behavior, examination malpractice, thuggery, and other criminal tendencies.
One of the actions that the university can take to reduce the spate of cultism in the society is to make students feel important in a way. Relate with them, see them as stakeholders in the system, and make them have a sense of belonging. The moment they have that, even if some people are planning evil somewhere, they'll come and leak the secret to you as a vice-chancellor. And also as management, you don't wait for the situations to deteriorate before you take action. For us in Uni Osun, whenever we have information of possible uproar somewhere, we quickly make arrangement for intervention so that we nip potential danger in the bud. And that is the way we have worked over time. Also, we organize series of lectures, series of awareness programs, so that our students could be better enlightened on the dangers and the evil of cultism and related vices.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at story of 15-year-old phone repairer in Gombe. Details of this and more after the break. Welcome back. You are watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Airport workers protest give FG 14-day ultimatum over aviation bills. Federal government inaugurates committee on railway security. Elsewhere, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has rescued 9 people trapped in a sinking-story building in Lagos. The building is located at 47 Akinwumi Street, Akinwumi North Estate, Mende, Maryland, Ikeja. The torrential rainfall, which lasted about 4 hours in the early hours of the day, flooded lots of communities in Lagos. NEMA advanced team close observations called for more reinforcement of personnel. One of the trapped victims, Blessing, disclosed that they are up to 9 people, mostly women. The landlord of the building had used ladder to escape, but NEMA questioned him for failure to contact emergency responders. Trust TV gathered that someone among the trapped victims contacted NEMA. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, State Fire Service and Police Disaster Management Unit coordinated the rescue of all the 9 trapped ladies. As schools across the Federal Capital Territory resume after the long holiday, parents are appealing to school authorities to provide adequate security and also be considerate with tuition and other fees due to the hard economic situation in the country. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu, who monitored the resumption of schools within the FCT, spoke with parents on their readiness to send their children back to school.
It's the first day of school, and pupils are excited to be back for the new academic session after the long holiday. Prior to the long holiday, schools were abruptly shut down in the Federal Capital Territory due to security concerns. As a prelude to that, parents who are still entertaining fear, however, called on the authorities to ensure the safety of their wards, as well as the impartation of quality education.
There's nothing different between when they close the school and what is happening now. Is the FCT safe now? It's not safe, but we cannot keep our children there in the house for longer. Like now, the ASU is on strike. It's affecting the family, it's affecting the parents, it's affecting everybody. It's even affecting the children. So if we should keep the children, the secondary school children and primary school at home now, when are they going to go back to school?
The children find it difficult the last time to take their exams and all the rest. The exam that need to carry on for 1 week, they wrote it within 2 days interval. We are still praying, looking forward for our government to improve for the security for the children.
Acknowledging the harsh economic realities, these parents say they struggle to pay tuition fees and other learning materials, and appealed for a flexible payment plan that would be comfortable for both parties.
Every payment is from the parents. As I am now, I went for verification and I was given the list for new intake. It's not easy for me as a parent. It's not easy at all because as I am now, I have like 4 kids. It's not easy for me. To me, I would say the federal government should help the parents. At least they should not increase the payment from the school. Let the payment, let it be stable or a little bit lesser.
We do the one we can do. Privates are better, but it's more expensive that most parents cannot afford. So, but some parents doesn't mind to give their children the best. They can wear anything to make sure that their children go to private school. They are pushing government aside.
The debate about the preservation of the quality of education in public schools continues to give rise to the enrollment of more pupils in private schools, with parents bearing the brunt of that choice vis-à-vis the cost of private education. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Mobile phone repairs is one of the viable businesses in the communication industry that provides job opportunities to thousands of Nigerians. While many are phone repairers in Gombe State, a 15-year-old student is advancing a career in phone wrapping for self-reliance. Ibrahim Ismail has more.
It is a busy work day for the 15-year-old Jafar Muhammad, a Gombe-based young boy aspiring to advance his business to higher level through phone wrapping. Jafar, who is a student of JSS 3, said he does not want to depend solely on his parents to solve his personal problems. Hence, he started doing business of covering mobile phones with transparent polythene. I am wrapping phones for self-reliance. If you need anything, you don't have to ask your father or anyone. You can cater for yourself. He said he is now making little profits from the business and feels good to be self-sufficient in a way. I make 200 naira daily. I used to give my mother 50 naira, spend 50 naira and save 100 naira. I want to be a businessman. If I grow up, I want to be famous in the world. Self-sufficiency among youth is important as it builds confidence and makes them strong and independent. For Jafar, being self-reliant is another achievement or milestone reached. He hopes to build a business that can offer other young boys like him opportunities. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And away from Nigeria, Armenia and Azerbaijan have reported new border clashes that left an unknown number of Azerbaijani troops dead. The fighting, which broke out early on Tuesday, marks the latest flare-up between the ARC force, who fought a war in 2020 over the contested Nagorno and Karabakh region. In a statement, Armenia's defense ministry said that Azerbaijan launched intensive shelling against its military positions in the direction of the cities of Goris, Sok and Jarmuk on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's defense ministry accused Armenia of large-scale subversive acts near the districts of Dashkesan, Kelbajar and Lachin of the border, adding that its army positions came under fire, including from trench mortars. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said that on Monday there can be no military solution to the conflict and urged for an end to any hostilities immediately. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms, and also don't forget to follow us even on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for watching.